Hi everyone. I'm really sorry I can't be with you today. Under doctor's orders, I'm under house arrest. So thanks to Stephanie for allowing me to speak to you today, and I hope you'll forgive me if I read some of this from my phone. Firstly, let me say that I think that salespeople are the lifeblood of any organisation, but especially Gill. And without you, our books wouldn't get into the hands of SPHE teachers and students. And so I'm really grateful for that. Thank you. I really appreciate everything you do, especially in these tough times for sales and publishing and also for SPHE. So I'm going to begin to talk to you about the controversy in SPHE. And I'm going to start with a very personal story in relation to recent controversy. That to me is more reminiscent of maybe a Father Ted sketch from the 1990s than a modern news story about Irish education. A few months ago, a video was circulating amongst parent WhatsApp groups claiming that pornography was being shown to children in Irish SPHE classrooms, and SPHE teachers were in cahoots with the government and universities to corrupt their minds. The words Satan and evil were used, with pictures of the devil, and parents were urged to boycott schools and the SPHE programme. Not only this, but it was a teacher who was saying this and therefore must be believed. Friends, family members and colleagues contacted me to establish if this was true. Journalists contacted me to establish if this was true. For me, it was a bizarre few days because I was so heavily involved and invested in SPHE for many years, and through the writing of my wellbeing journey, and also through studying in the new course in DCU. The claims that were being made were the polar opposite of the SPHE world I was living in, and where very experienced SPHE teachers were producing excellent resources and teaching in a very careful, considered manner on all manner of topics that mean so much to students and teachers, such as safety, consent, mental health awareness, and generally navigating the modern world. The people in my SPHE world were mums, dads, grandparents, caring adults, clergy, youth workers and psychotherapists, frontline workers in terms of working with young people. At the time, SPHE teachers' WhatsApp groups and social media were also hopping with disbelief and sometimes scoffing at the ridiculousness of the claims and scratching their heads as to where this idea had come from and what the motivation behind it might be. Even though it was a bit unnerving at the time, I was reminded of a quote: "The truth is still the truth, even if no one believes it. A lie is still a lie, even if everyone believes it." So the controversy rumbled on into strange territory, such as twee Irish stereotypes and secret pacts drawn up by evil teachers to keep parents in the dark about their sinister intentions. In challenging times like these, I have a tendency to go towards what I know and to stay in my own lane. I'm not a journalist or a politician or a salesperson. I work in a classroom. So I began to research misinformation and disinformation with my students. Together, over the last few months, we explored concepts like doxing, trolling, and catfishing. One of my students mentioned a concept called astroturfing. I had never heard of this concept. Astroturfing perfectly describes the controversy around SPHE and really helped me to understand and process what happened. AstroTurf, which is fake grass, and astroturfing is the practice of publishing opinion or comments on the internet in the media that appear to come from ordinary members of the public, but actually come from a particular company or political group, as a way to make that policy or opinion seem very popular or as if it had a lot of public support. Does that sound familiar? So, the reality of SPHE as I know it is as follows. SPHE is sensitive at times. Some teachers are not comfortable in the SPHE space because of a lack of training. Some parents are opposed to sensitive topics being taught. Some schools won't like the book and it won't suit their needs. There are specific, very small groups that oppose the teaching of SPHE. All of this is okay. These issues can coexist in the landscape of SPHE. It is often useful to have dissenting voices in important discussions, and this is what we have been taught and discussed in SPHE classrooms for many years. In the exact same way, a school may not like a geography book or may not want to teach geography in a certain way and don't want to teach certain concepts, SPHE is no different. And just because there may be some nervous or opposed does not mean that it should not be taught. I feel contextualizing it is important because it can often feel magnified by social media and by the techniques I've spoken about previously. However, the great news is that the sales, the research, the consultations and feedback speak for themselves. The opinions of real-life teachers, principals, students and parents are what matters the most. The conversations I have had with SPHE teachers and networks all over the country have been positive and encouraging about the new curriculum and especially the My Wellbeing Journey series. I also look to the guidance of the NCCA, the Department of Education, and the lecturers and researchers in SPHE who have been working towards a more dynamic and student-centred approach for a long time. International research and our neighbouring European education systems show us that there is nothing to be feared from comprehensive, factual and caring relationships and sexuality education, even if it is at times sensitive and not what we've been used to in the past. Therefore, I choose to stay in the truth and to stay in reality rather than defend or attack other people's beliefs because, number one, I choose the values of SPHE, which are respect and care and empathy, and also because I feel it's okay to disagree and it is absolutely okay to ask questions as long as they are respectful and well-intentioned. Okay, I'm going to pause here and I'm going to talk about our approach in a minute, and if Stephanie wants to pause here, and I'll continue in a moment.